All right, we are live at the PGN podcast headquarters. Not yet, but we're working on it, right, Zaza?
Yeah, we got a place. We got a place.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so hopefully we get that going so we can be finally sitting all together. You know what I'm saying?
We
But
haven't done
yeah,
that in a
man,
while. We haven't done that in a while.
I know
No,
it's just so much easier to just go on the fucking StreamYard instead of like
It is. It
laughing.
is. Yeah.
Unless we
it's
get
just
like CBO, we held down. We got kind of a spot now.
yep.
But anywho's, how was y'all week? Before we get into anything,
It was all right. I got a couple fires. Clear out. One that I kind of did myself, and the other one's kind of just a house thing. But other than that, it was same old, same old. I got to deal with this festival going on where I live. They do it every year. It's been really popular. So now it's like all week now. So I
oh
got to
yeah,
listen to that. But yeah, it's cool. It's good. It's good. I mean, St. John knows my area. My area is not the best area. So, but it's good that they have events like that. So,
You
nice
show. You should show out.
word. How was your week, Zaza? Nothing.
That was good. Yesterday was Liberian Independence Day. Got to chill with like some family members, chill with some cousins. We rep the red, white, and blue with the 1 star. So it was actually it was nice. It was nice. But besides that, none really.
Word. Me, gym, work. I saw Fantastic Four Friday. I thought it was pretty good. Then I saw Happy Gilmore 2 yesterday. Good fucking lord. Don't watch that shit, bro. Happy
I've heard
Gilmore
it has a lot of
2
cameos. A lot of
is
cameos.
fucking is trash.
Trash. Jesus.
Trash.
I
Good
mean, it's hard to do.
God.
It's hard to do. It's hard to do a sequel after 30 years for the first one. The same problem I have with Coming to America too. It's like you
Yo,
wait too
same
long to do a
thing.
sequel. Yeah.
Same thing. Actually, this was better than Coming to America 2. I thought Coming to America 2 was fucking how bad that shit was. But
Oof.
this was it was bad, bro. The cameos were terrible. Just
Jesus.
random, weird, out of nowhere. It's like Bad Bunny's his fucking his caddy. Trash. He wasn't good. He wasn't funny. Then they had fucking Guy Fieri. I'm like, Guy Fieri?
Yeah,
Post
I heard that name
Malone.
years.
They had Kid Cudi. They had Kid Rock or some shit. I'm like, what the? Who the fuck? Bro,
Kid Rock.
terrible. Terrible,
Kid
bro.
Rock. Jesus.
But
Hey,
that's about it. Well, let's get into the topics now.
All right. This first topic was actually germinated by myself and Cesar a couple weeks ago with the Lamar Jackson. Oh, it was actually last month. One of the TikTok videos about Lamar Jackson really got popular, and Cesar thought, hey, why don't we do a topic about what teams have the most pressure, what quarterbacks have the most pressure? So I was like, all right, we'll keep that. I'll keep that in mind, and here we are now. So we're gonna start with the NFC this week, and next week we'll do the AFC. So I'll start first. We'll start with the teams. The team I feel has the most pressure to win is the team that actually is the host city for the Super Bowl, and that's going to be Levi Stadium. I say it's the San Francisco 49ers. And if you look at the 49ers the last 6 seasons, the 4 years they made the playoffs, they've at least gone as far as the NFC Championship game. So it's been a team that's had a lot of success the last 6 seasons. But they didn't make the playoffs last season. So in the offseason, they made some big moves. They gave Brock Purdy an extension. They gave Fred Warner an extension, and they also gave George Kittle an extension. They traded Debo Samuel to Washington. They also let go of Ward, Hufanga, and Greenlaw, as well as other players. Robert Saleh is back as the defensive coordinator, so that should help their defense. Their defense was not very good last year, so they're hoping that Saleh returning back to probably a role that he probably is much suited for. He didn't work out as a head coach for the Jets. But they have a big issue with Brandon Ayuk. He's on the physically unable to perform list with the ACL, MCL injuries. So that's a problem. So I think the 49ers, their run is coming to an end shortly. So maybe this might be the last chance for them to make their another big run, maybe to the NFC Championship, maybe to the Super Bowl. And the NFC West is tough. I mean, the Rams, they won the division. They're still good. They've done a good job retooling that team. The Cardinals, they got off to a good start last year. They fell off towards the end, but they're gonna be a tough out. and the Seahawks. They got Sam Darnold, so it's not going to be easy in NFC West. But I feel like for the 49ers, this is their last chance. You hear the pressure that's on Kyle Shanahan. So I think the team with the most pressure is San Francisco 49ers. Saint Zao, who do you think is the team in the NFC that has the most pressure?
The team that the NFC that has the most pressure right now. You say NFC West or just NFC?
The NFC in general.
It got to be the Lions because to have that remarkable season and to fall flat the way they did last season in the playoffs. Jared Goff reminded us why Sean McVay traded him because he had a stinker in that playoff game. I was gonna agree with you, the 49ers, but we talked off air about this. I thought the 49ers window closed last season once they lost all the pieces. I was like, oh, it's a wrap. But the Lions have like think about this, and to win in this league, it's so hard. And to go they went 15-2, and then you lose in the first. Nah, dog. The Lions, this is it. All that biting kneecap thing, all that you gotta show up now. You gotta at least make the NFC Championship game or Super Bowl. They have the most pressure because I think the way they've built their city up, they gotta win right now. They have to win now. It can't be later. They gotta win now. It's the Lions.
But would you say is it mitigated because they lost both their coordinators? That's not going to be easy to, have two new coordinators in there.
You still got the talent. You still got the talent. It's all there. I won so much money off the Lions. You gotta win. I'm sorry. I know they lost Ben, but there's too much talent in this team to go one and done in the playoffs. There's too much.
All right, Scumbag, who's your pick for NFC team with the most pressure?
Yeah, my first one was the Lions. They took that one. That's it. If someone says the Lions, I'm gonna go to Niners. You got the Niners. So I would probably say my third choice was has to be the Cowboys with Dak Prescott. Like, he's the highest paid quarterback right now. You know what I'm saying? In the whole fucking NFL. This year he's getting the highest fucking salary.
Mm-hmm.
As the Cowboys, you have pressure every year. The pressure mounts every year with the Cowboys, more and more, because they haven't been to an NFC Championship since what?
1995, the 95 season.
95.
Yeah.
So now every year is coming to, is fucking Jerry Jones gonna stay alive long enough to see
and we
guys
heard what he said this
Super
week.
Bowl?
He basically called out Parsons and Dak this week.
Yeah. So I didn't even know about that, but it's just, dude, you're the highest paid quarterback. We're asking, we get you guys, We got you like Brandon Cooks at one time, we got you we signed CeeDee Lamb. We just traded for George Pickens. Jalen Tolbert, probably a decent third option. Jake Ferguson's a good tight end.
They just gave him a contract extension today.
What happened?
They just gave him a contract extension today. Jake Ferguson.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're helping the guy out as best they can. If you look at it, right, you could say Jerry Jones is an asshole or doesn't pay but he's paid his players. He's paid that. He's paid fucking he paid Zeke at one time. He paid fucking Ferguson and this and whoever the fuck, CeeDee Lamb. He paid CeeDee Lamb. He's doing his job. And if you look at his draft picks, he hits more often than not. All these guys are drafted. CeeDee Lamb drafted. Dak Prescott drafted. Fucking Michael Parsons drafted. All their all-stars in the past, the O-line. The O-line guys they had. Zach Martin drafted. These guys are drafted. Who's the other one who just left to the Panthers? The man that was there for a long. DeMarcus Lawrence drafted.
Mm-hmm.
He had Sean Lee drafted. Dude, Des Bryant. All these guys drafted. They've been drafted. He's played it. He's done his job. I think they haven't delivered. If I'm putting the fucking guys on the field and you're not delivering, whose fault is it? Come on. I think I saw a stat one time. The Cowboys have the most like all-stars, like that have been drafted. Some wild shit like that. It's like, what the fuck? Damn. So Dak has to. I mean, come on. How many times he's gotten his chances? He just looks crazy. At the end of playoffs, he just looks like I don't know. I've watched games, bro. Come on, Cowboys. I think when they faced the Niners, they were at home. They had the bye, I think. The Niners won the first round, and bro, that was their year. I think they were like 13 or something, and they were really good, and they couldn't score that game. And the Niners weren't even as powerful as in previous years.
Oh, I
It's
didn't
like,
remember that
dude,
game. Wasn't that the game where they had the ball and then they tried to spike it, but time ran out?
yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
that was me. Okay, yeah.
yeah. And Debo like ran all over them. Debo just dominated the whole game and crazy. And how many times you gonna get your chances to do your job and you're just not. And they paid you. They fucking paid you. The only thing I would give, I would say Jerry Jones' fault is that he's not bringing in a good coach.
Well, he doesn't want
everybody looked at fucking the first jerk off, Garrett. How long did it stick with Garrett? And they had the McCarthy, and then they fucking just got Schottenheimer. What the fuck? And it's like, dude, that's the only thing I would say. Jerry Jones' fault. Like, you're hiring guys that are puppets. Bro. To me, I don't know. Me personally, maybe I'm old school, whatever. I think you need an assertive coach. You need a coach who's gonna tell you as an owner, no, we ain't drafted him, bro. I don't. He doesn't fit my system. Oh, but I like him. That's what Jerry Jones does. He's telling the guy what he's drafted. Make this work. What if my defense doesn't want that guy? What if my offense don't want that guy? And you need to me as a if you're gonna win a championship, your coach has to be there with his team that he chose, his OC, his DC, his linebackers coach, everything his. And they come together for the players and they tell you what the fuck they need for their system. And as an owner, you have your say, oh, I think this guy. Let me get like the third pick, bro. I want to pick the third guy. You know what I'm saying? Work together. He don't do that. So I would say that's the only thing wrong with the Cowboys. But other than that, he's paid them. He's gotten the players. They're all stars. What the fuck? What more you want? I mean, come on. So yeah, that was my third pick.
Yeah, I would say but the Cowboys, I think the problem is, like you said, Brian Schottenheimer. It's like if you talk to anybody who's him as offense coordinator, wherever you go, whether it was the Jets, the Rams, whatever, they're like, this guy was, he's just a nepo baby, pretty much. That's basically the narrative on him. So now he's that coach. I'm not sure about that one with the Cowboys. I think I would say they should make the playoffs, but that's probably about it. I don't know if they're gonna, they're in division with the Eagles, the Commanders. I mean, the Giants should be somewhat better. So who knows?
Yeah.
You know who else is?
I think there's too many. I think there's too many teams down in NFC. I mean, unless teams fall off, but it just looks like the Cowboys, they didn't improve on defense, really. Yeah, they got George Pickett, I give him that, but I mean, what are you gonna if your defense can't stop nobody and they're putting up 40 fucking points on you, I don't know if that's that good. We saw this last year with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had a fucking MVP season.
Didn't make the playoffs.
He should have. But bro, if his team makes the playoffs and they're like 11-5 or good fucking record, he has a chance to win MVP.
MVP, yeah, definitely.
His stats were out of this world, but they didn't make it because the defense gave it up 40 fucking points a game.
Yep.
He ain't that good. I saw one game of him and the fucking, I think the Ravens. It was like 48-42. Mm-hmm. He's fucking gunning fucking 80-yard bombs to chase fucking Jamar Chase in the back of the end zone. Yep. He's doing his job.
Yeah, the crazy thing with the Bengals, the game that cost them the most was the first game against the Patriots.
Yeah.
They win that game, they're probably in the playoffs.
We ended their season before it even started. Look at that. That's a great thing with Patriots. It's about to be a breakout year for Drake May.
I don't doubt that. He did good last year. Mm-hmm. If the coaching staff does him right, then hey, you got Stephon Diggs, you got some players. I like Hunter Henry still. I know he's a little older, but I think he's decent. You just got Travion Henderson. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
So they said the O-line got a lot better too. They're saying from training camp so far. So
thank goodness, because that training that's what got Drake May hurt into a couple of games. But I was gonna say another team that we fall asleep on. Remember, Jordan Love and them Packers. Remember the run they went on the playoffs 2 years ago? They beat the
Yeah.
Cowboys and they did all that type of stuff. They got a lot of pressure because Jordan Love, contract, all that type of stuff. You got to show up now. Now
Yeah.
this is on you. I don't know what their wide receiver situation is. It's always a mess because they always got a bunch of number twos. They got no number ones. But now is the time for Jordan Love to step up. You get paid. We talked about you like this. You got to show up. He's another one. He kind of gets by because there's so many people in the NFC that he could kind of sneak by because he's in the division with the Lions and the Vikings, and they were great last year. Nah, you need to step up.
Oh, speaking of Jordan Love, that is actually my pick for quarterback with the most pressure. So I'll get into that. So I think Jordan Love has pressure. And I'll say this: the new Packers president, his name is Ed Policy. That's actually his name. He says he's not going to give extensions yet to GM Brian Gutekunst and head coach Matt LaFleur. So what does that mean? That means pressure is on Jordan Love because if he doesn't have a good season, one or both those guys are probably in big trouble. So, and as you said, things really with Jordan Love, you see the talent. He obviously has the talent, but I think the big issue with him is his processing speed in terms of under pressure. You saw in the playoff game against the Eagles, he threw 3 picks. If you put him under pressure, his mechanics start to fade. He starts to rush throws, and that seems to be the big issue with him. So, and really, I think with the Packers, they have Josh Jacobs. I think when last year when they started to play better, it was when they started to have the offense
Run
more
the ball.
involved with him. Yeah, when they ran the ball more. So they have the talent on. They have Josh Jacobs. They have Matthew Golden, who was drafted in the first round. They have Jaden Reed. They have Romeo Doubs. They have Christian Watson, who's hurt right now. And their defense is much better under Jeff Hatley. So the Packers, in my opinion, they go into NFC North. You see with the NFC North, the Lions, we see they're in some flux a little bit. The Vikings, they have a new quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, first-year quarterback. So that's going to be some issues there. The Bears have Ben Johnson now. We'll see how Caleb Williams adjusts to that. So it's there for the Packers to win the NFC North and to possibly make a run in the NFC in the playoffs. So I say the pressure is on Jordan Love to really have a good season.
And mind you, we didn't discuss notes. I felt this way for a minute. I was like, I see, you get the usual quarterbacks to get blasted and stuff like that. I was like, oh, Jordan Love is going underneath the slip because there's so many other quarterbacks you worry about the NFC. I was like, no. You remember they let go of Aaron Rodgers for your ass. You need to step up. Even though he's crazy, but you need to step up.
And remember, everybody's like, oh, it's going to go from Favre to Rodgers now to Love. So, and
yeah. I think, and that real quick, I think Jordan Love has avoided a little bit of criticism because, like you said, there's a lot more NFC quarterbacks to worry about. We mentioned like 3 or 4 before him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think he gets a little pass too because it's also been LaFleur. Like,
yep.
when they went to the playoffs and they beat the Cowboys that year, and they did pretty good against the Niners. You know what I'm saying? When they played them in the next round, I think for some reason last year he took the ball out of Jordan Love's hands. He ran the third most in the league last year.
No, he was hurt. He was hurt
His knee was
bothering him most
year,
of the year.
and the receivers supposedly, if you look at their PFF ratings, like Tavian Wicks was bad, and this guy was hurt all year. Christian Watson was hurt all year.
Mm-hmm.
They had like Romeo Doubs kind of out there. They didn't really have like Jaden Reed was up and down. What the fuck did he do last year? So I think LaFleur saw that, and all the factors that went into the passing game was like, fuck it, we got Josh Jacobs, we're gonna ride this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? To see where it goes. And I think that's more why he's gotten a pass from last year. It was a weird season, but I mean, he showed he has the talent, he has the arm. They just drafted Matthew Golden. He's supposed to be really good, and let's see what he does. And Christian Watson looks healthy. Tucker Kraft stepped up last year, that tight end. They have Josh Jacobs another year. Another rookie they had last year that was hurt a lot, Marshawn Lloyd. They say he's really good. So, I mean, we'll see where it goes. But I think that all depends on what LaFleur puts together. You know what I mean? If he throws a more heavier passing attack and he feels more comfortable passing the ball, he'll do that. LaFleur will gun the fucking ball all around the field if he has the receivers to do it. So, we'll see.
All right, scumbag. Who do you think is the quarterback in the NFC has the most pressure to win this year?
Dak Prescott. We were talking about before, Dak Prescott.
You want to add anything to that, or are you just gonna stay with what you got already? Anything to
That,
add in terms of Dak, or
what happened?
anything to add? You said earlier with the Cowboys with the pressure. Anything to add specifically to Dak in terms of pressure?
Yeah, not what I said before. Like he's the highest paid quarterback. Time to step the fuck up, bitch. Time to fucking win a playoff game. Do something. At least do something impressive. I think the only time I was impressed with Dak was the Packers game. Well, when he was a rookie and they were like down 35 to 3 or some wild shit like that, and he
Mm-hmm.
all the way the fuck back and tied it. That was the only time that I was impressed with Dak in the playoffs. I was like, wow, that's you know. But besides that, bro, the playoff games he's been trash, bro. Trash.
Saint Zah, who's your pick for QB with most pressure?
I've already said the Lions, but another person that we wants another quarterback that kind of slips underneath the radar, Baker Mayfield. Bro, you got some weapons over there down in Tampa. He's remember, that was it 2 years ago. They went far in the playoffs, but he kind of fizzled out. You need, listen, I get it. You were in Cleveland, you got that stench off. You've been away from there for 2 years. You need to start winning some stuff. You need, throwing for 4,000 yards, that's cool and nice, but you need to start winning. You at least need to be vying for an NFC championship game. That's where Baker Mayfield needs to start saying. He's kind of in that Jordan Love thing where it's like people talk about you in top 10 quarterback. You need to start having some top 10 quarterback moments. You need to start making further runs in the playoffs.
And remember that Commanders game, he had a big turnover in the fourth quarter, and that's
Thank
how they lost
you.
that game.
You see what I'm trying to say? You see what happens? Because we got Jaden McDaniels. We got so many new toys in NFC quarterback wise that we talk about that some of these quarterbacks are just getting by, they have 4,000 yard season, but we're not looking at their season. They're not looking at, he had that big turnover against the Commanders. We forget about that type of stuff. I'm calling all you quarterbacks that are going underneath the veil. I'm calling all y'all out. Can't wait for AFC. Can't wait for the AFC next week.
Oh, I can tell. I already know. I think I have a good feeling who you might pick. Anything final thoughts on this topic before we go to the next one?
No,
Yeah.
I'm good.
No, I'm good.
All right. This next topic. So all the talk in sports media was this list of the NFL. ESPN had this list in terms of the top 10 quarterbacks based off of targets to NFL execs, coaches, and scouts. So I'll say that I'll read the names here. Number 1 was Patrick Mahomes. Number 2 was Josh Allen. Number 3 was Joe Burrow. Number 4, Lamar Jackson. Number 5, Jaden Daniels. Number 6, Matthew Stafford. Number 7, Justin Herbert. Number 8, Jared Goff. Number 9, Jalen Hurts. And number 10, Baker Mayfield. Now, a lot of people were discussing, is Jalen Hurts the top 10 quarterback? One person in particular, Cam Newton, had his thoughts, and he did not have Jalen Hurts in his list. His list had Josh Allen, number 1, number 2, Lamar Jackson, number 3, Patrick Mahomes, number 4, Joe Burrow, number 5, Matthew Stafford, number 6, Jared Goff, number 7, Jaden Daniels, number 8, CJ Stroud, number 9, Justin Herbert, number 10, Baker Mayfield. Now, his point, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but I don't agree with not having Hurts on the list. He said that Hurts doesn't have the same amount of responsibilities as some of the other quarterbacks that in his opinion were listed on that ESPN list, and that's why he didn't have Hurts on his list. I don't necessarily agree with that because, yes, Hurts does not have the same responsibilities as some other quarterbacks, for example, Josh Allen, but he plays within the system. And as a result, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. And he won the Super Bowl MVP. So in my opinion, he's a top 10 quarterback just based on him alone. We've seen a lot of teams where they don't have the quarterback and they don't win because of that. So it's not like the Eagles lost because of Jalen Hurts. In fact, both times they made the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts has played well. So in my opinion, he plays when it's more than just having actual ability. For example, Justin Herbert, I would say he's a more talented quarterback than Jalen Hurts. But in the playoffs, he's not performed well in 2 playoff games. We've not seen Jalen Hurts have as bad a playoff games as Justin Herbert. So it's more than just being able to play. It's having the leadership, which he's shown many times. It's the intangibles. It's more than just being able to play. And so I think that's one thing, these discussions that they don't talk about. There's the other things besides the actual ability as a quarterback. So to my point, I'll start with you, Scumbag. What are your thoughts on this whole discussion about Jalen Hurts being a top 10 quarterback and these lists in general?
Number 1, I hate lists. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Ask not at this point, and And at this point, I don't know what list is real or not. You may have an asshole. Cam Newton might be doing this to troll. Who
Yeah.
the fuck knows?
Mhm.
He's getting likes, he's getting clicks, he's getting plays, he's getting fucking whatever from it. That's why I don't even want to care about the list because I don't know what's real, what's not, what you believe and what you don't believe. I literally said in the group chat, I'm like, you know what? If we start making a list, I'm gonna say outrageous ass shit, just to have people go, what? What the fuck? Oh. Like, like you said, a list of Esquire, the top. Who the fuck is Esquire to be rating superhero movies?
Well, don't
Like,
worry,
Who the fuck?
I
we'll
don't
get
give
into that
a
pepper
fuck
steak for
what
sure.
they gotta say. But people in the chat, yo, what the fuck? Yo, what the fuck? The hell? Like they have Billboard top rappers. What the fuck do they know? I don't give a fuck what they. But they was still. Oh, what the hell? There was a fucking debate one time when they had, oh, who's the most best rappers on Family Feud? Snoop Dogg's number one, and they, yo, what? I mean, it's Family Feud.
Yeah, you can't get mad
Who
about that type of
cares
stuff.
what
So
Family Feud got to say who the top 10 rappers are? I don't give
it's
a
true.
fuck. They
It's
can
true.
put Vanilla Ice number one. I don't give a
It's
shit.
not gonna ruin my day.
I don't care. So, this in general is just stupid. But to even discuss it, so came to me, and what came off to me was, I think he's a little salty that he won a championship. I'll be honest. It just sounded like that to me. Because you're going to put Baker Mayfield, CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Who the what? If he put somebody there, I'm like, all right, bro, stop, bro. He just won a chip. You put in Baker Mayfield over him, Justin Herbert. CJ Stroud's a fucking third-year guy. What are you talking about? And we're talking about the time that they almost won the first Super Bowl, but they lost because he fumbled it.
Yep.
Yeah.
He fumbled it. They were whipping their fucking ass. The same way he whipped their ass before. This time, he didn't fucking fumble it.
Well, they made sure that game was over by the second quarter, so that was another thing too.
I'm just saying, he played flawless in that Super Bowl.
Yep.
Flawless.
Yeah.
Because
You
he
got to
knew
give
in
him
his
that.
head, we lost the last one because I fucking fumbled it. That's it. If he don't fumble that play, they score a touchdown that play, the Chiefs, the Eagles win the fucking Super Bowl. He would have 2 rings right now, and he would have 2 wins over Patrick Mahomes whipping his ass. And he's not top 10? Cut it the fuck out, bro. Cut it the fuck out. You're mad he won because he played within the system. Okay? He did what he was supposed to do. And they talk about, oh, the tush push, he said. You had 10 people pushing you. Guess what? This man, Jalen Hurts, is a fucking animal. Him and Saquon go in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
gotta out squat each other for no fucking reason. They
Pretty much,
squat
yeah.
700 pounds. Josh Allen last year tried the tush push. Guess what? It didn't work. Remember they ran 2 in a row against the Ravens and got stuffed twice?
Yeah.
Okay? And now they're trying to ban the tush push in the fucking these meetings. Hey, bitch, if your quarterback can't squat 700 fucking pounds and push the pile to score a fucking 1-yard run, you're bad. You're lost. That's the fucking advantage I have. I have a quarterback that squats 700 fucking pounds, bitch. You got Derrick Henry that can fucking run 80 yards and run over. You got Lamar Jackson that can spin and fucking do all this wild shit and do a behind the back pass 30 yards down the fucking field. That's the fucking Eagles' advantage.
Yep.
And we've seen him when the running game wasn't too crazy 2 years ago, right? I think they lost though, but 2 years ago he threw for like 30-something touchdowns. I had him in fantasy. He was giving me 35, 40 points a week.
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck? So you just forgot about that year that he did that?
Yeah.
Stop it. That's what I'm saying. If it's a quarterback, why it's coming off as hate to me. If it was a quarterback that I could look at that did something, they won 2-3 playoff games, they got to the Super Bowl. If you said Brock Purdy, I'm like, Brock Purdy got to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? You have CJ Stroud, like, he's new,
Yeah.
bro. What did he do? Yeah, he didn't do
Yeah.
shit.
I was. Oh.
Yeah, he didn't have a good year last year either. So
He did not. I didn't want to talk about him because he's my biggest AFC disappointment. Because
No,
I'm gonna let you finish.
the biggest the biggest one that stuck out to me was Justin Herbert. I'm like, Justin Herbert.
The
That was
NFL,
the worst one. I tell you that right now.
NFL's
That was
love.
the worst fucking pick to have old Jalen Hurts. I said, Justin Herbert. Did you see what he did last in the playoffs? He's been horrific. Come on, dude. Come on. So fuck that list. I hate lists in general, but that shit was bullshit. Me personally, but whatever.
Zayza, what are your thoughts?
Okay, first of all, like I saw this list and I love Cam. I'm not gonna disrespect Cam. Yo, you had your career, your MVP and all that type of stuff. But no, Straw had scumbags a Giants fan. Um, you have to understand, how can you put someone like Jared Goff over Jalen Hurts, but then say he doesn't play? Jake Goff plays in a system. That system is based around him being fucking good. So, but then you'll take away Jalen Hurts points because you'll be like, oh, he plays in a system, he gets touched with. You could put a good quarterback in that line and they'll still run the same fucking way. That's why I hate the system quarterback. Because I'm like, yo,
And real quick, Za, did Jared Goff have a good system?
with the Rams.
Rams?
Yep.
They literally replaced Jared Goff with Matt Stafford and won a fucking championship.
Just was, yo, the irony, bro. Like, yo, I was hearing it. He's like, yo, he's system. But I'm like, yo, dog, Jared Goff plays in a system. Most of these good quarterbacks that we like, they're playing within systems that benefit them. The top quarterbacks are the only quarterbacks where they are the system. There's a difference. Baker is playing in a system, but he doesn't win. How can you put him over Jalen Hurts? How can you honestly look at CJ Stroud last year and tell me he's better than Jalen Hurts? That motherfucker scored 2 points in a Thanksgiving game against the Ravens. That told me everything I need to know about him.
Oh no, that was Christmas. That was Christmas.
Oh,
Remember,
Christmas.
that was the Beyonce thing, halftime thing. Even worse.
CJ Stroud should not be on that list. Goff should not be higher. And if the NFL keeps telling me how much they love fucking Justin Herbert, I promise you I'm fighting somebody, bro. Because he's like, yo, he's a typical quarterback. He got the long hair, he got the arm, he don't miss anything. Yo, that playoff game was one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever seen. He threw so bad. I was like, but they'll love him. They'll still say, oh, he's the quickest to this many yards. He's quick. I'm like, yo, bro, I get it. I think
that playoff game made me realize when we do MVP picks this year, I'm not picking the Chargers. I'm not doing it.
Who picks the Chargers? The Chargers have been that team. If you have not watched the Chargers since Phillip Rivers years, you know what the fucking the Chargers are. They're that team. They're gonna look good. They're gonna play good. But when it comes to crunch time, they're always gonna find a way to lose. That's why they don't beat the Chiefs. They don't beat teams that fucking matter. That's been the Chargers thing for years. Fuck Justin Herbert, not against you, but it's the love fair that the NFL has with you. That's the thing I don't like.
Word.
Yeah, another side of the list was Jaden Daniels at 5 on the other list, and then Newton had him 7th on his list. I think he had a good rookie season, but I'm like, is he a top 10 quarterback or is this a rookie year? I don't know about that, honestly. So, yeah, I mean, he might prove us wrong this year with another great year, but I think it's too early to put him on the list, in my opinion.
No, you're right. It's too early to put him on the list because you also have to understand. Remember, he's a rookie. Now people are going to have film on him. Now people are going to study him. Remember, he went to the NFC Championship game. You're telling me defensive coordinators aren't looking at that, being like, yo, okay, he does this. When he does that, that's why there's a sophomore slump, because now the league catches up to you. Yeah, he's a good player, but defenses are going to be ready for him. They weren't ready for him last year. Now they are. And that's why a lot of quarterbacks struggle. CJ Stroud, prime example of what I'm talking about. The sophomore slump. You know, I hate this. No, just come back and he's right. I hate the fucking list because they don't take into everything. They're just looking at stuff and it's eye test. It's prisoner of the fucking moment. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And we don't have to litigate the whole MVP thing, but yeah, we don't have to litigate that. But I would say that if we're doing based on how the quarterbacks from last year, I would say Newton's list is a little better in the top 3.
Yes.
You can make the case for Lamar over Allen. I probably would have too, but I think his list is more fair up the top four at least. Maybe even Stafford 5, and maybe you could put Hurts at 6. I would say that would be more fair of a list, but as you said, the lists are these are what they are engaged to do. It's all about engagement and getting people mad on social media. That's what these lists are.
Yeah,
Pretty
So,
much.
basically.
Oh Lord, bro. Get it together. When
all
you
right.
we
Oh, you got it. Last thing, Cesar.
Nah, when y'all making this list, don't be prisoner of the moment. Remember, there's other things that factors that go into this shit.
Yeah.
All right. Next topic: the wrestling world lost probably one of its biggest names in its history, and that is the immortal Hulk Hogan passed away on Thursday after having a cardiac arrest at his home in Florida. He was 71 years old. Uh, this was I wouldn't say it's tough for me to say. I think it's easy to put Hulk Hogan in two different categories. One is career. He had a great
Yep.
career, no question. The WWF does not have his national expansion without him.
Yep.
He had to start in the AW. Well, not starting in the AWA. He got
AWA.
prominent name in the AWA, but the AWA didn't want to push him because he wasn't quote unquote a top level performer. But so Vince was like, "Hey, I don't care about that. I see how popular he is in the AWA. We're gonna snatch him up, and the rest is history." You saw WrestleMania 1 with Mr. T, and that took off from there. WrestleMania 3 with Andre the Giant, that legendary moment where he slammed him
Slam.
in the leg
Yeah.
drop. And then WrestleMania 6 against the Warrior, the first time Hogan really lost claim in his prime. So, and we saw what he did when he went to WCW after, the fans kind of got sick of him. He turned heel with Hall and Nash, the NWO, and that revitalized his career. He became even more bigger as a heel.
Yep.
So, quite no question, Hulk Hogan, probably one of the biggest names in professional wrestling. But there is a dark side to Hulk Hogan, and that's what I think a lot of people on Thursday had not so great feelings about Hulk Hogan when he passed away. There was a Gawker tape, the infamous Gawker tape, where he said, he admitted, he's a racist because his daughter at the time was dating a black man. And instead of apologizing, he doubled down. It was recently this year, I think, his Real American Beer, there was a black woman that worked at the job, and they got rid of her. And nobody seems to really understand, but it was clear she was, black, and that's why they got rid of her. Hogan even said when his son had that car accident where he left his friend permanent brain damage, he said his fear is that he gets reincarnated as a black man. So Hulk Hogan clearly showed you many times over who he was. Also, in terms of pro wrestling, remember, Jason Ventura told the story. He was trying to unionize wrestling, and Hulk Hogan heard about it. What did he do? He went to Vince McMahon to snuff it out because he was making the most money out of everybody in pro wrestling and the WWF. If union happens, some of that money he loses, it goes to the other talent. And so Hulk Hogan was all about himself. I think that's really the thing with Hulk Hogan. It's not. I didn't feel sad on Thursday and besides the Gawker stuff, but in general, Hulk Hogan just came off across as a selfish guy who only cared about himself. So that's why when my friend, he was the first one to text me, he's like, Hulk Hogan passed away. I was doing my cardio. I was like, nah, okay. And then say on this thing, he texts Hulk Hogan passed away. I was like, it is what it is. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that I and me and a lot of black wrestling fans feel this way, that Hulk Hogan, it's like his death wasn't a big deal. It should have felt a big deal, but in my mind, it was just like, it is what it is. Saint Zah, what are your thoughts on Hulk Hogan's passing?
Um, this is I know wrestling fans hate this because they're weird, but this is really a complicated matter. Like this isn't a one note type of thing. This is a gray area type conversation where listen, Hulk Hogan, the character, the wrestler, eat your vitamins, NWO. I always say this. I've argued Kobe, you've been here off screen, even with a scumbag. He's had two Hall of Fame careers. First one, the Hulk Hogan, eat your vitamins, and the NWO shit. That's legendary shit. the leg drop heard around the world when he changed to NWO. That was mind numbing. That was great television. That shook up the business. People don't understand how big Hulk Hogan was. When he came back to WWE, great moment. Him versus The Rock, WrestleMania 18, the Battle of the Icons. I, I think our EP watched it and he didn't. He's never watched it up. He saw it. He was like, "Yo, this is a spectacle. This is like an iconic match." When they had to stare down, Rock and Hogan are looking at each other. You can't recreate that moment with many wrestlers. That's the type of impact Hogan had, and I think sometimes we intertwine the person and the wrestler. And I'm trying to tell people, I'm like, nah, you got to separate. Hulk Hogan and Terry Bollea are not the same person. But when
Well,
it comes,
sometimes it's not
th-
that hard. Look at Ric
no,
Flair. It's
yeah,
Richard
that's true.
Flair and Ric Flair. When does it become? It just becomes Ric Flair 100% of the time. I think the same
I
thing with
think Ric
Hogan.
Flair
He
is,
became
yeah,
Hogan 100% of the time. So I
yep.
think sometimes it's hard with certain performers. They become the character so much. That's who they are. They stop being
Macho
the real
Man,
person.
Macho
So
Man, another person, yeah. They become that. But like I'm trying to say, let's celebrate his career. But Terry Bollier, I didn't care. There was not one tear that came to this eye for Terry Bollier because remember, this is the same man. He kept Macho Man down. He kept all these people down. He has to get his get backs. You hear about him trying to screw up. Undertaker hates him to this day. Undertaker hates him to this day. He's like, yo, I
yeah, because
don't care about her.
he lied about
He lied
the
about hurting his
tombstone
neck.
hurt his neck. Yeah.
Yeah, the tombstone. It's just like, yo, you hear so many wrestlers go like Hogan lies all the time. So I'm like,
Oh,
yo,
I got some lies here. I forgot to mention them. So one lie he claimed that Elvis was a Hulkamaniac. The problem with that, Elvis died 11 days before his debut in 1977. He claimed that a Paramount executive, Bob Evans, wanted him to make him the next John Wayne. Let's be honest. Hulk Hogan's acting abilities wasn't great. So I don't know if I believe that one. And then he claimed to wrestle 400 days a year because his frequent trips back and forth between the U.S. and Japan. I'm like, that's not how time works, man. What are you talking about? I mean,
listen,
some of his lies are whimsical and you can just laugh. But other times you can tell he really does believe this nonsense that he was saying all those years.
yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you gotta separate that and the characters. Hogan, the person, piece of shit, scumbag. We get it. Not saying you scumbag, but just saying like that's who he was. But like I also try to tell people like when you're at the top, you're trying to hold your spot, but it's just that he went about it in foul ways to keep his spot. That's all. But Hogan, respect the character. Hulk Hogan, you did what you did for the business. I'll never take that shit away. But the person behind the scenes, oh no, that you if y'all want to dance, go. I'm not gonna do that. But if you want to dance, I'm not gonna stop you either.
Scumbag, what are your thoughts on the passing of Hulk Hogan?
I think it's just like well, you guys pretty much covered everything that I would have said, but um, I don't know. Sometimes there's some celebrities out there that I'm like, damn, that sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll get into one later.
Yeah.
Um, but then there's some celebrities like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, because in the end, yeah, these people entertain me and I enjoy all that shit. But something happened to me. What the fuck would they give a fuck about? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? But I mean, it is what it is. I just think that you know, especially now living in an era where people um I think sometimes people feel like their opinion like really matters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
and it's just people who just get on social media and oh, Hulk Hogan was this, Hogan was that, and it's like I'm not saying he wasn't or saying he was, but like that's his problem with the man upstairs. You know what I'm saying? That's something that let him worry about that and his family worry about that. Like I think I saw somewhere where somebody said, people are different facets to everything. That's just life in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like my house cat, that's my friend. I pet him and da da da, and we boys. But to a house, but to a mouse outside, he's a terrorist.
Yep.
He sees my house cat way different than what I see him. It's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people just quick to judge, and I'm not saying that he says some racist shit, he double down on it, and that's nothing to judge him about. Yeah, I mean, especially if you're a person of color, if you're gonna sit there and say fuck this guy, you have every right to. You know what I'm saying? But as far as what his passing meant to me, it was just I don't know. Like I said, no celebrity thing, whatever it is, but that's how I felt about him passing. But just a real quick touch on his career. Listen, I grew up watching wrestling. Hulk was the thing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan was the fucking man.
Mm-hmm.
He changed the face of wrestling. Forget about it. You can't
Yep.
say he was the biggest star in the '80s. He made wrestling mainstream.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the one. He's the reason.
Yep.
You know, and you can't front on that. I remember those fucking when I was a kid, and they don't do it no more. But the long entrance into the ring,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
he had the crowd going insane the whole way out. The song came on. Come on, that song's still classic.
When it comes crashing down
Yeah,
and it hurts.
that song's classic. You can't front on his career, and then to go away and go to WCW and create NWO, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was another era where people don't understand that during that time, Nitro was outrating
WWE.
the
Yep.
Raw.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were outrating them. I think for like what 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Why?
83 weeks.
Because of Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Hulk Hogan, the biggest turn heel in history was him leg dropping Macho Man at the fucking Bash at the Beach, or whatever that shit was called.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is the biggest. Yo, bro, people were throwing garbage. They couldn't even finish the promo at the end.
Yep.
The amount of trash that was flying in the fucking ring. People were fucking about to riot that this man leg dropped Macho Man, bro. That is the biggest heel turn in the history of wrestling. You can never top it.
Nope.
Never. This is the top of the peak. This is the fucking guy who made wrestling mainstream. The American flag running in all this shit, and he became a heel.
Yep.
Stop, bro. Never. You can't front on that. And a lot of people's lives, they would never amount to that stardom.
Nope.
I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck. It's like you could say, Steve Austin's done it. That's maybe The Rock. Because Rock went to movies and stuff like that. But yo, to
Very.
this day, he's top three, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's as far as
Mhm.
popularity, stardom. There's no touching that guy, bro. So
Nope.
that's what I'll say about his career, and at least that part of him, I can respect because when you strive to be great and you strive to be the best in your business, and you actually get to do it, it's a different feeling. You know what I mean? Imagine how accomplished he felt as a person to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's all I gotta say about it.
Yeah. I'll close it saying this. I mean, this country, we all have the redemption story, and Terry Bollea had the perfect opportunity to do it. He could have apologized, said, "Hey, you know what? I said that, and I'm doing the best I can." Even if his actions were nefarious in manner, if he had just apologized, if he had made some sort of effort to make it up to the black community in some way, I think maybe some ways a little bit people would have been a little more forgiving of him. But unfortunately for Terry Bollea, he just wanted to double down, and he was like, "Hey, I'm Hulk Hogan. I'm still gonna do the whole Hulk Hogan stuff." We saw it last year and this year. He you saw what side he went on, so he just got triple down on it. And unfortunately I'll leave it here saying I was just listening to Van Lathan on his podcast. Hulk Hogan did not live a life well lived. And maybe in terms of success in terms of his pro wrestling, but in terms of the
Mm-hmm.
person himself, did not live a life well lived.
You gotta look at it this way too, real quick. How Malcolm X said that one time. I rather deal with someone who's like, you know what? I hate black people. I don't like you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to fucking party with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like you. Malcolm X said he'd rather deal with people like that than someone who's going, yeah, you're my friend, blah blah. but behind the scenes they're saying shit about you.
Yeah.
But look,
Mm-hmm.
because you're black, they don't like you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, in another perspective, you can say, hey, you know what? Hulk Hogan, you don't like black people? Great. Now I'm gonna chill with you. I'm gonna look at you. If I see you in the street, I'm not shaking your fucking hand. I'm not wearing a Hulk Hogan shirt. I don't give a fuck about you then. Great. And he wouldn't give a fuck. He'd be like, great, they'll stay away from me. Awesome. Have a nice life, sir.
Yep.
I know where you stand now. So, sometimes I respect shit like that. Me personally. Tell me how the fuck you are.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
I'd rather you tell me how you would than be cool with me, and then you do tongue in cheek, and you're like you're still getting. But yeah, I agree. I've always said that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about it.
All right. All right. Next segment of the podcast, Pepper Takes, and unfortunately, we do have to start with another sad passing. It's been a tough week this week. We also lost Ozzy Osbourne, so I know the rock community is feeling that one too. But the one that I think a lot of people felt the most was the unfortunate passing of Malcolm-Jamal Warner, and new details come out. So they said there was a report saying that his daughter was involved. That's not accurate. So apparently the story is that he was out on a family vacation in Costa Rica. He was swimming with a friend of his when a rip current, they got caught in a rip current. They were able to save the friend. Unfortunately, they were not able to save Jamal Warner. They got him out, but they did CPR for 45 minutes, and they were not able to revive him. So he unfortunately passed away at the age of 54, and he lives behind a great legacy beyond the character of Dio Huxtable. He did much more than that, and we all, in terms of the Cosby Show, we all know how legendary a show that is. And the Dio character, obviously, a fun-loving black kid, I think, who battled dyslexia, but then was able to graduate. So I think he meant a lot to a lot of people, especially people looking like us. But he did a lot more than just that. I'll read some of the accomplishments he did. He has his own sitcom called Malcolm and Eddie with ran from 1996 to 2000. He won a Grammy Award in 2015 for Jesus Children for the best traditional R&B performance. And he was also a director. He directed a New Edition music video, a Whitney Houston music video. He was executive producer of The Magic School Bus. That was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. He also directed All That, Kenan and Kel, and The French Prince of Bel-Air. So, if you look at it, he had a great career. I mean, you can't take that away from him beyond the Hot Cosby Show. So, I think the reason why there was such a visceral reaction to his passing was because when you hear Malcolm-Jamal Warner, he always carried himself with such high class, integrity, intelligence. So it was like when I saw him from news, I was like, what's going on here? And then when the details came out, I was like, man. Sure. It was terrible, man. So rest in peace, Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Saint Todd, what are your thoughts on his passing?
It was crazy because I had been on a Cosby binge. Like, I'd be on Facebook and I'd be watching like episodes of the Cosby Show. And usually sometimes when that happens, I'm like, something's about to go down. Like, whenever I keep seeing something and it's like, yo, I haven't watched this in a long time, and then I see this something pop up, I'm usually like, yo, then I'll be like 3 days later, something happens. So I was like, yo, is Cosby about to go? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, then I heard Malcolm. I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? It's crazy. I literally just watched the Gordon Luttrell episode at least 2 days before he passed. And it's crazy that he did all this stuff. He did the Malcolm and Eddie Griffin show. And it's like, damn, like, Kofi, you read off all his accolades. Think about this. A lot of people didn't know he did all that shit.
I didn't even know he won the Emmy. I didn't know about the Emmy until
I just figured out that shit yesterday. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was looking at, I was like, yo. And then he would do little skits in there. He was on the Kenan and Peele show where they did the Black Republicans. I remember he's like, disperse. And I was just like, damn, you really wasn't everything, but he wasn't but the thing is, he wasn't that loud. So it's like, you kind of forgot about him, but he did a lot of stuff. He helped direct Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. People don't know, even in the Cosby Show, he's the one who wrote the Wretched, the Wicked, and the Wretched, where what was it? Who's the girl? Vanessa Goes to Detroit. He wrote that episode. People don't even know
right?
that.
In Baltimore, yeah.
Yeah, when she went to Baltimore. No one knows he wrote that episode. That was his first time writing an episode. And think about it, everyone still remembers that episode. So I want to say this. Shout out to Malcolm-Jamal Warner for being someone that shows, hey, you don't have to be loud, but you can still make great impacts. Like, I don't need to be boisterous, but I can still make stuff that you remember to this day. And it's a tough loss. People brought up that him and Myra. I was like, yo, I don't care about that. He has a wife and daughter that he leaves behind. That's the thing that I'm more worried about. I'm like, yo, but it also just shows, like Scumbag said off air in the group chat, yo, those tideways, those things are crazy out there, man. Like, you gotta be careful when you do that type of shit. But um, I just want to say, he was a good man. I loved all the stuff he put out. I hope now they can keep putting more stuff out, put back on his show with Eddie Griffin, just to give remembrance and to show new folks about these other shows. Because there are a lot of black shows that a lot of black people don't know about because they got canceled. They don't put them back on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this is the chance now to start showing a lot of these shows that had prominence back in the 90s. Please, for Malcolm-Jamal Warner, put on that show.
Scumbag, you said in the group chat you had a similar experience to what happened to Malcolm-Jamal Warner, but fortunately for you, you were able to get through that. So speak to that and speak to his passing.
I was down the shore with my friend and his mom, and he was with her. I think they were getting food or some shit, and I got caught on the riptide, and I noticed I'm like swimming straight, but then I'm making no progress. Like I'm getting pushed to the side, and I'm swimming. Like I'm not talking about like I'm like like going hard.
Yeah.
And it was guiding me to the rocks. I'm like, what the fuck? So yo, I don't know. I just got lucky, I guess, and maybe we're down the shore where the riptide isn't as strong. You're on the coast of what was it, Costa Rica? He was at.
Yeah.
So you're probably dealing with a stronger riptide, stronger ocean than I was dealing with. And bro, I just swam my fucking ass off. I got out the riptide. When I was like getting halfway in, my friend dove in, and cause he was a really good swimmer, and he was like, "Yo, you okay, bro?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Bro, I was bringing back the food, and I'm seeing you struggling." I'm like, "Bro, I thought I was swimming." He goes, "No, dude, I saw you flailing." I'm thinking in my head, I'm swimming. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, dude, you a fuck. I was like, bro, I couldn't fucking gain no progress. It was crazy. So, it's just unfortunate. Like, and then you with your daughter, you can't see me out by myself. So maybe that's why I was fortunate, because I was just going hard. Got out by myself. He's with his daughter. How you swimming that hard holding your daughter?
No, he was with his friend. They
He
said
was
that was true. He was with his friend.
Okay. I thought you said it was with his daughter, his 8-year-old daughter.
No, that was an inaccurate report. They
okay, all right.
That, yeah.
So whatever the case may be, unfortunately it could happen, but I think that this is a contrast to what we talked about before. Was Malcolm-Jamal Warner somebody who reached the heights in his career that Hulk Hogan did? No, but I felt like when he passed away, the amount of love that he got.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The posts were like paragraphs from so many celebrities, and even like a lot of, I know some my black friends that the Cosby Show really meant something. You know what I'm saying? Like to see a black family, a successful black family, and it was funny, it was good, well written, and then this, just real quick, that's what the shows are missing now. Like you were entertained, but at the same time you learn lessons, from these shows. And those kind of lessons resonate, especially with a lot of black people. And I saw a lot of people just talking about it. Man, I grew up watching this show, and he was just a model citizen on the fucking show, off the fucking show. Like, and like I said, the celebrities also in, their posts were like, wow, he was just such a fucking great person, and blah, blah, blah. They have all this good things to say about him. I didn't see the same kind of hate Hulk Hogan got when he passed away. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes in life, you have to also realize that being a good person and having your reputation precede yourself in a good way is worth as much as money.
Yeah,
is worth just as much as being a Hulk Hogan. You know what I'm saying? because in the end, that's what you want to be remembered for. It was Hulk Hogan rich? Was Hulk Hogan the most popular fucking wrestler of all time? He has all the accolades, but does he have the same accolades out of the ring? And that was a lot of the shit we saw when he passed, and that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? For somebody who was so successful, someone who brought so much happiness to our childhood. You know what I mean? And I think that it's a lesson to be learned from both sides. You know what I mean? And we're here. To me, we're here on this earth to just, you know, I think help each other to a certain
Yep.
extent. You gotta
Yep.
go out your way and blah blah to just be helpful all the time. But when a time arises and you could be there to help people, that's what should life be about. You know what I mean? And we have disagreements stuff like that, but it shouldn't turn into violence or it shouldn't turn into cursing each other out or just doing some wild shit to each other. You could agree or disagree and get over it and be cool and be nice, and that gets you just as far in life. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Mhm.
Than snaking your way to the top. You know, like I said, Malcolm-Jamal Warner. He was a guy who probably ended up middle tier in his career. Wasn't the most popular dude. Didn't make the most money, but hey, bro, when he passed away, man, the amount of love he got, the amount of love probably his family's gonna get, and
Mhm.
him
Yep.
the daughter. The way to me, I don't know this for sure, but I just feel like someone's gonna just create a fun foundation for her, and so everybody's gonna come together and pay for her college and make sure she got
Yep.
a car, make sure
Yeah.
she's good, and make sure the other kids are good. Like people are gonna come together to do that. You know what I mean? So, unfortunate. RIP to him, and that's about it.
Yeah, I'll conclude with saying that yeah, that's the person you should be the most sorry for. Like his daughter is like young, so her memories are going to be like precious, and the fact that her last memory, hopefully, it's not that day where it happened. Hopefully, it's other moments that they had together,
Yep.
and obviously, one thing that helps is that he was an actor, so she could watch all the stuff that he did. So she'll always have that. Uh, but especially for her, hopefully that she's doing well and that there's hopefully all his friends, family, colleagues, they all support her and his wife as well. And I think the last memory I have of him is what he said about like he had a podcast called "Not It's Not Hood," and the podcast was about like different black cultures, experiences that people have throughout this country. Because he said
Yep.
that black people are a monolith. You you know how most people, especially on certain agendas about black people, that they're a certain way. No, black people have many different cultures in many different ways. We're
Mm-hmm.
all different in many ways, both good and bad. So I think he had that message. He also talked about how like his father had him do book reports when he was a kid about the great Negroes. So he had to write these book reports about all these great Negro people throughout the time. And he had a book called The Poetry of Malcolm X, and his classmates make fun of him, and he realized, oh, they don't know who Malcolm X is,
Nope.
and he realized his father was trying to help show him, hey, you got to be aware of all the Black history and all the Black history and all that stuff. So and he carried that throughout his career. You could tell with the roles he did and all that stuff. So uh, the Black community did lose a legendary figure. So rest in peace once again to Malcolm-Jamal Warner.
Peace.
As we said earlier, one of our early topics talk about lists, and Esquire had the list of top 100 superhero movies.
Oh,
I didn't write it
God.
down because it was not good. It was not good. It was not good. So we're gonna have some fun here at PGN. I'm gonna do my own. We're gonna do our own list. I know Scumbag, you weren't exactly thrilled about it, but hey, let's have some fun with this. So I'll start
Let's
first.
do it.
Number 5 on my list is Dark Knights. Now, since you know that I'm not the biggest Dark Knight fan, I kind of
I
think
know.
the movie's kind of a little overrated. But I put it in there because even though I think Batman Begins is better, I think it's just a better overall movie about Batman. You can't have Dark Knight not on the list because, in my opinion, Heath Ledger, that is probably his best performance of his career. Really, he carried that movie. I mean, without his performance, I don't think The Dark Knight has the accolades that it has. So he
Mm-mm.
really carried that movie, really about the Joker and all the stuff he was doing. Now think about it. Now everybody thinks of the Joker, they think of Heath Ledger's Joker.
It's
So
very true.
that's how. impactful that movie was. Number 4 on my list is The Winter Soldier. Let's be honest, Captain America is a World War II propaganda hero. So to modernize that character, it takes a lot of work. And the Russo brothers did a great job with this movie. A political thriller about how Hydra took over S.H.I.E.L.D. and how him and the Black Widow, they have to find a way to stop them. And to stop the Winter Soldier, who's another character. And we'll do a review about who he was. So they did a really good job. The action scenes were good. The overall story was good about, Captain America. He's trying to fit in more in the modern world. And he's got to deal with this issue with the S.H.I.E.L.D. So I think they did a good job. And pretty much that's why the Russos, and there's another movie that the Russos did later on my list.
Okay.
So number 3 is Blade. Wesley Snipes in
Okay.
the 90s, man. That dude, man. Demolition Man, all the movies he came out with in the 90s, he was on a tear. And really that tail end of that run was Blade. A movie that probably saved Marvel Comics, because Marvel Comics, they were, I think, bankrupt at the time. So Blade came in, a movie about a vampire, half human, having to, stop these vampires. It really started the superhero genre. It really restarted the superhero genre. So really impact. And you see it now, they're trying to make a new Blade movie and they're having trouble with it, which I don't know why. It's Blade. It's kind of easy. It's a vampire. He's a vampire that kills. It's easy. So, but the original Blade, that's number 3 on my list. Number 2 is Batman 1989. And we don't have think about it, Batman the animated series is considered one of the greatest, not just cartoons, but TV shows of all time. That doesn't happen without Batman 89. So, Jack Nicholson was a Joker. Michael Keaton was Batman. It really set the tone of Batman. The tone of Batman, who that character is, as we know of today.
Directed by Tim Burton.
Yeah, Tim Burton Batman movie. Yeah. So it really set the stage of what we saw of Batman to the years to come. So, and it really set the stage for superhero movies of the 90s and today. Number 1 on my list is Infinity War. And the reason why I have it number 1 is because how hard movie that was to make, an ensemble cast of all these different Marvel characters, and to fit it into a 2-hour movie, to do it in a way where it makes sense. Hard to do, and they pulled it off. And the Thanos character really became a legendary character now, because I think before that he wasn't really known as a top end villain. Now he is. Josh Brolin did a great job as Thanos, and the most important thing is he won. Think about it. Most superhero movies, the good guys win. In this instance, Thanos won in the end. Yeah. And people were shocked about that, especially with the snap and killing half the superheroes. So that's a real legendary movie, in my opinion. So that's my list. Once again, Dark Knight, Winter Soldier, Blade, Batman 89, and Infinity War. So Scumbag, what's your top 5 lists of superhero movies?
All right. Number 5. I'm going to put Iron Man, the first Iron Man.
That's good.
That kicked off the whole MCU, was Iron Man. They found a perfect fucking Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. plays Tony Stark, awesome. Like I said, that kicked off the MCU because once that became popular, you gotta understand one thing. If you read comic books, Iron Man is like the 7th, 8th best hero.
Yeah, he's like a B tier
character. And the Avengers are B tier characters. Yeah.
In the comic books, but the way Robert Downey portrayed him and the way the movie was, to see him get in the suit and everything, and the movie was good. They said, man, maybe we could do these other characters, and they went away and did. I think they did Iron Man 2. And then the next was what, Captain America, I think, after that?
Yeah, and then they did Hulk too. They did a Hulk movie too in between that.
Yeah. So that's how they saw it. And I think that we got to give props to that movie because it started off what we know now as MCU. Number 4, I put the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. Him against Green Goblin. I still think that's a top 5 fight scene at the end where he throws the fucking bomb inside the thing and then blows his face up and he fights against the wall and they start banging out. Like, I think, and then that movie, I know Blade saved Marvel in the 90s by going bankrupt, but after, what people don't know is that after superhero movies got killed because the last two Batmans were horrible, where they had Mr. Freeze and they had fucking what was
Poison
that
Ivy.
fucking Batman and Robin,
Yeah.
with the fucking Tommy Lee Jones and Two Face and all that bullshit. You know, those movies didn't do so good, so they were like, bro, we're not fucking doing superhero movies, man. It's just ass, and they were cool on it. But they came out with that movie, bro, and they changed the game because now they saw superhero movies were profitable. And I remember when that movie when the trailer dropped, it was only a web. The helicopter got caught in it or some shit, and or he saved the helicopter with the web, and it just said Spider-Man across the scene. And I remember the theater going crazy,
Mhm.
like oh shit, da da da. And I think it lived up to the hype. I think at the time it was fire. Tobey Maguire was a guy that the fans were begging to play Spider-Man, and they got him casted. Um, you know, so I put that definitely number four. Number three, I think a slept on movie in Marvel or superheroes in general. I think was X-Men: Days of Future Past. I think
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
the way they got the old cast to kind of mesh with the first class, the younger X-Men. I think that was fire. Wolverine just being the main character in that movie, going from the past to the future, and all this wild shit that was going on. You know, Professor X was walking and he was all fucked up in the head. I just think it was a great story, and I think just to cast the movie with the old crew with the new crew and to make it work, that shit was fire. And I love Magneto in both movies, First Class and Days of Future Past. I think he's a good fucking Magneto, bro. He killed that shit. Great actor. You know what he's done in his fucking career. Michael
Mhm.
Fassbender.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I think he did awesome. Um, so yeah, I think that's a definitely slept on movie. I think First Class is a slept on movie too
Uh-huh.
because they it's not in the MCU, so people don't fucking really think about those movies.
That was
But
fire.
Mhm.
yeah, I thought number three was I have that. Number two, I have Infinity War. Um, Good point for Kofi to say that to take all the cast and to put him in the movie and to make it work. That was definitely hard as fuck to do. I saw the movie for my birthday in IMAX. So for that movie to be that interesting, everybody was quiet. And bro, I tell you, the shocking moment of that movie is when he stabbed Iron Man. Bro, when he stabbed him, the whole crowd went,
Oh,
and
I
my
thought he was
girl,
dead. I thought he died. I thought he died. Killed him.
she hates superhero movies. Like, doesn't watch them, but she came because I went with like all my best friends. They're girls, so she was like, "Fuck it, let's go see the movie." Fuck it. She even like when he stabbed Iron Man, she grabbed my chest like, "What? They're about to kill this guy?" You know what I'm saying? And just that being in that reaction, like that shit was fire. And me growing up, I was in love with the Infinity War series when I was a kid.
Mhm.
I had six. It was six parts, and the fourth part or third part, I think, was when Thanos fought all the superheroes and he killed them. Bro, I must have read that fucking comic book. The cover was coming off the comic book. You know what I'm saying? I was fascinated how he killed all of them in the fucking comic book. So when the movie came out, bro, I was locked in, and it lived up to the fucking hype. It lived
Yep.
up to the hype for casual comic book fans. It lived up to the hype to people like me who were into comic
Some
books.
comics. Yeah.
It did it justice. Even though they switched around some shit, you know what I mean? But all in all, I think they did what they had to do. Then I would say my number one movie, which is crazy that Kofi have at number five, The Dark Knight. Um, I think that's the best superhero movie of all time. I think a lot of people would agree with that. I know it's cliche to kind of say it, but come on, bro. To me, I think at the time when superhero movies came out, like Spider Man and Iron Man, I think a lot of those movies, whether it was a Batman in '89 or Superman in the '70s,
Mhm.
all the superhero movies, right? These movies were kind of like good enough for the adults and also good enough for the children. They played both sides of the fence.
Mhm.
The Dark Knight. Remember, this is directed and written by Christopher Nolan.
Yep.
The best director right now, probably in the last 25 fucking years. You know what I'm saying? You could probably put Tarantino in there. You know, Martin Scorsese, who was probably more at the end of his career, when Christopher Nolan started, gaining recognition. We probably know Quentin Tarantino is a great director, but he puts out like a movie every fucking 7 years. You know what I mean? At this time, Christopher Nolan is the hottest director, and DC was smart enough to grab this guy for their movies because he wasn't in superstardom yet. He was getting there. But when he did these Batman movies, all three of them, I think it put him on the fucking map to be mainstream. That this guy now is doing movies like Oppenheimer and fucking what's the movie? Durham. Whatever.
Durham, yeah.
They already said that all the tickets for fucking Odyssey right now are sold out. This guy is doing movies. We're talking about Odyssey, Durham. These are fucking movies that we're not getting now. We're getting remakes. We're getting bullshit movies. We're getting fucking retarded shit. People now are going to the theaters to see a movie done by a director, not an actor, not a superstar actor, none of this shit. Because the movies he puts out, it ain't Will Smith in there. Remember back in the day, you had to have Will Smith or Tom Cruise or Arnold Schwarzenegger or fucking. You had to have a star. This guy's getting Tom Holland, Matt Damon. Okay, put this guy. He gets guys. Who the fuck was, to me, as far as mainstream, even though he was a good actor, Christian Bale. He's a great fucking actor.
Oh yeah.
Batman put him on the fucking map.
Yep.
He had real actors. The guy who played Scarecrow in the first one, great fucking actor.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy. He was Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Yep.
Great fucking actor. He always put a great fucking Michael Caine as Albert. He's a fucking great actor.
Great actor. Yeah.
Everybody in this, Commissioner Gordon, awesome actor.
Yep.
Yeah, Gary Oldman.
Awesome
Gary Oldman.
actor. Probably the best one I probably mentioned so far. Awesome actor. He has a fucking actor in every role in the movie. Everybody, even the cop, the jerk off cop, he's an actor.
Yep.
He took superhero movies and made it a real movie. Dark Knight is not up there as a superhero movie. It's up there as a film. As a top 15 film of all time, top 20. A lot of these critics put Dark Knight in these great films of all time. And that's a superhero movie. Heath Ledger probably has, if you say in movie theater history, film history, he's a top 5 villain in film history. Not superhero history. The Joker is a top 5 villain in all around film history. I think one time I saw a list. Number 1, Darth Vader, and this is the most lists I've seen. Darth Vader is always number 1.
Joker.
Number 2 is always Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Always Heath Ledger. So that's fucking crazy. For a superhero movie, it changed what we look at superhero movies. You know what I'm saying? MCU always kind of played both sides. You know what I'm saying? The kid, the adult. This is an adult movie, bro. This is for the real comic book fans. This movie is for the real comic book fans. And the way that movie is so long, when I first saw it, I thought it was too long. But the way the Joker really had Batman on his fucking heels, bro, in that movie, he had him questioning to be Batman. He had him about to reveal his identity. He fucking blew his girl up. He created Two-Face, burned half his face. Did what he had to do was turn Two-Face. Think about this. Two-Face was a footnote in that movie.
Yep.
He didn't become Two-Face to the last, half an hour of the movie?
Yep.
That's how good that movie is. That a good villain. And who played Two-Face? Another great fucking actor. Great fucking actor. Everybody played their role and fucking murdered it. There's not one actor in that movie that was like, who the fuck is... Well, he sucked. Not one. Not one. So that's why I have it number one. I know I went on a long rant, but
That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that as far as that movie as superhero, it's just a great film. Just the classic scenes in that movie are fucking endless, bro. You come on. The probably one of the greatest shots in film history is Heath Ledger hanging out the police window.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a legendary shot, bro.
People still do the walk when he's walking out the hospital and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Really blows it up.
You know how he turned Two-Face? Like, he's a nerd. And you know what's so crazy about the movie? He still was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, when he was like, what I liked about Heath Ledger, he played, like, the joking and the serious. He made him crazy.
Yep.
Like, he would joke and go into, like, I'm going to kill you in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Like, he'll be like, oh, you look beautiful. To the girl, right? And all of a sudden he just grabs her, puts her knife to her face, like, you want to see the fucking thing? And she's like, what the fuck? Like, it threw you off. Because he would literally go into like a murderous rage. Like, in a matter of seconds. And he played that fucking well, bro. That interrogation speech he gave to Batman, like, don't play like you're one of them. You're just like me. Da-da-da-da. Fucking with his head, bro. That he made Batman lock the door and flip him on the fucking table. Come on, man. Forget about how he walked into the room when they were all having the meeting, and he took over the meeting. And you want to see a magic trick? Remember he was joking around?
Yeah.
Put the guy pencil through his face, bang! I'm like, what? How he just flipped into joking and murderous? Like, come on! I have millions of scenes like that. Millions of scenes that he did that. Awesome movie. Unfortunately, I wish I had only thing I would say about the movie, I wish I had like a little bit of better ending. Like a little bit.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I didn't like
the
ending was kind of rushed. They rushed the ending, yeah.
Yeah, I think the ending probably could have been a little better, but I think that I don't know what he wanted to do with part 3. That's where I give him a little leeway, because he had to actually rewrite the whole idea of part 3 because Heath Ledger passed away.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Who knows what part 3 would have been? Maybe Bane would have been a part of it. You know what I mean? Because Joker was that good. You could have done part 3 with Joker. I wouldn't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
True.
And just add another jerk off in there. I don't know. Fucking Joker with fucking the Riddler or some shit. I don't know. It would have worked. So, but yeah, that's my number 1, and that's about it.
All right, Sainzai, what is your list?
Summer 5, it's a Vince Russo. I'm gonna give Civil War. I think that was the first time we had the superheroes really fighting each other, and it wasn't over like some squab. It was over some real shit. It's like Tony's like, "Yo, sign the doctrines." Cap's like, "I'm not signing them. I don't want people controlling me and all this other shit." And that's when I knew, like, listen, I was kind of like on the fence. I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Like I see both sides, but when I saw that piece of shit Bucky kill Iron Man's parents, and then everyone was like, yo, he's controlled. I was like, yo, bro, I'm not even saying Iron Man had to kill him. He got to put hands on him. He has to put hands on him, and then you separate it. But when this is when I've never fucked with Captain America after that shit. I've never talked about Captain America. When he was like, yeah, I knew Tony is not going to change anything. I'll be, shoot him in his face. Shoot it. You knew. You piece of shit. And see, that's when I was like, you know what? Cap is one of those where as he's like, nah, I got to protect him, because I was like, nah, fuck Captain America. Captain America, to me, I never wrong with Captain America after that shit.
That part was fire to me, because this is the goody two shoes, the guy who did always it the right way, the guy who always told the truth, the guy who stood on 10 toes on the truth, and he fucking lied, bro.
Yo,
you lied. Yeah, that was fire. The fight between all 3 of them in that little hallway, whatever.
Yeah.
That fight is fucking fire, bro.
Like, you're jumping him because he's mad because this nigga killed his parents. What are y'all doing? But then I was like, you know what? That's when I was like, you know what, Cap? You one of those people. You're one. It's my friend. I have to protect him. I was like, nah, you foul for that. You're really foul. That's why he gave him the shield. At the end, because he knew he was foul. Number 4, Blade. Come on. First one. Saved MCU. We can go all about that. Number 3. Spider-Man 2. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock, like, yo, remember Spider-Man, he's going through the midlife crisis. He's losing his powers because he's overthinking all this type of stuff. Mary Jane, listen, if he'd have let Mary Jane go away, I think a lot of his insecurities would have went away. Because Mary Jane I was like, yo, bro, she is cheating on you left and right. Leave this woman, bro. She's toxic.
That's why he stays. She's toxic. No, but
Oh,
I mean,
toxic as
to be
fuck.
fair, they didn't technically date till the third movie.
Bro, but like he was all over her, and I'm like, yo, bro, just come on, Spider-Man, you better than that. Yo, he's falling from buildings, hurting his back and stuff like that because he can't. He wants to be a regular guy. I was just like, yo, but I love that type of dichotomy. That's what made that movie good. And the guy who played Doc Ock, that was a great actor. Like I love he's like battling with the arms and stuff like
see,
that.
that part, I didn't like that part. It was like, what should I do? They're like, beep, beep, beep. I'm like, what? Get that shit out of here, bro. His arms never talk to him in the comic book. What the fuck?
Yeah, you know how some of these directors are. Because remember, that Spider-Man, he's not a scientist. He didn't get that part.
Arms talking like a velociraptor. Come on, man. I could have fucked with that, yo. The arms, velociraptor. I could have fucked with that. And I didn't fuck when he saved the train. And his mask burned off, and they brought him in like, cool.
Yeah, that was corny.
I
didn't down.
About that.
And they're like,
about that one.
He's just a kid.
I'm like, come on, New York back then, they would have been like, yo,
get the fuck out of here.
Spider-Man
in New York City,
Spider-Man Peter Parker.
In New York City,
yeah,
I
come
didn't
on.
know who he was.
Right the fuck out.
Yeah,
I would have ran out the Daily Planet. Yo, I know Spider-Man identity. What? I'll give you $1 million right now. Get the fuck out of here. Nah, I'm not jacking that shit. Other than that, yeah, good movie.
Yeah, it's good movie.
Those 2 scenes, I can't fuck with them 2 scenes.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about those 2 scenes. I was gonna talk about the fight, him losing his powers, him trying to figure shit out. I'm okay with that. Number 2, Dark Knight, of course. The only reason I put Dark Knight 2 is because the good guys were kind of forgettable. When Rachel died, I didn't bat an eye. I was just like, oh. Anyway, yo, we moving on to the next part. Where Joker at? Like, I just felt for the woman character to die and like for no one to give a fuck.
Yeah, I remember the first take when Skip Bayless and Stephen A were talking about, yo, they make fun of her because they replaced her with Katie Holmes.
Yeah,
they made fun of how she looked. Oh yeah.
I see. I didn't even go there. I was like, she was just kind of forgettable. She's like, Bruce.
That did hurt the movie. Was that part hurt? She did, but it was minute. But it, like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about, I'm not fucking Brad Pitt over here. You know what I mean? But she was a little rough to look at. And my friend even said it. He was like, bro, this guy's diving out of windows for this bitch. She's a 5.
See,
you know what I'm saying?
I was going there.
I'm saying how other people saw it. You know what I'm saying? To your point.
I've heard the same thing too.
Yeah, I like how they emphasize the character, because the character was strong and tough in the Batman Begins, and this character, she was kind of just like typical, kind of Harvey Dent's girlfriend.
We gotta blame Tom Cruise for that, because he made Scientology wacky shit.
Yeah.
Katie Holmes. I think she was shooting a movie, right? She was doing Dirty Money.
She turned it down. I think she just straight turned it down.
Yeah, but I think part of why she turned it down was because of Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was like, you can't work on Christian Bale. You're probably sucking his dick.
He kind of went on that's when he was kind of on his little Tom Cruise crazy shit.
Yeah. So that was part of it, but then she also turned it down to do a movie.
Yeah.
The movie was fucking garbage. But yeah, man, she would have been back. That would have made the movie a lot better.
Yeah, and then she's like playing. She's like, I don't want to marry you, Harvey, but you're kissing Bruce. And then it was like, even Batman. I was like, bro, Batman's getting fooled all over the place.
That's another part of it. Like the Batman that I know is the DCAU Batman, and he wouldn't be as smart as Joker. He would have figured out Joker's fuck with him. He'd be like, all right, I'm gonna save Harvey. Unfortunately, Rachel. That's how I think that Batman would have played it. He would have been like, all right,
I felt like it was a Joker movie. I'd like
Yeah.
if you were to call it a Joker movie, I'd been fine with that. But I was like, it wasn't a Batman movie. You wanted to see what Joker's next movie. The Joker's playing everyone. He played Commissioner. He played Batman. He playing the whole. I'm like, yo, the fuck is going on? Yo, this is his movie. He's the protagonist. He's the one who this movie should be around. But that's neither here nor there. That's why I just have that. But still, number two, it's still one. The only and number one is Infinity War. The reason why Infinity War was great was because Thanos gave you reasons and you kind of understood what he was talking about. And it always seemed like he was making the necessary sacrifices that the heroes weren't. He's like, yo, I gotta throw my daughter off to get the stone. Goodbye. Everyone's like, we have to save one. We don't trade lives, Pap. And like, I was like, here this motherfucker go again with this bullshit, bro. Get rid of Vision and get the fucking, you know what? But once again, that's the hero bullshit. That's why they lost. Thanos did everything right to win. Thanos deserved to win. If we really calling a spade, he deserved to win. And when everyone,
that was on his Hulk Hogan shit.
yeah. And like remember, they're jumping him. Like he was like there was sometimes I'm like, yo, y'all jumping him, y'all still not winning, but neither here nor
remember they almost won. They almost beat him. Star-Lord had to mess up.
Exactly. They didn't make the right sacrifice. They every time they were exposed, they would fumble. And Thanos knew he's like, yo, y'all gonna fumble. Y'all not really ready to do this.
Yeah.
Remember, they could have like who was it? Scarlet Witch could have been killed. Vision. She didn't want to do it. You make the necessary factors, you lose. And that's why Thanos said, yo, I'm gonna sit over and look over sunset. And he smiled. They ended with him. With the villain winning. I think that to me, that just changed the game. I remember going out.
No, because not to cut you off, but remember, Thor, he almost got him. I thought he got him. I was like, oh, but then he was like, you missed the head. He snapped. I was like, oh.
Not once again. You're not going for the kill shot. You're trying to do too much things. This is not the typical villain. This ain't Loki. You needed to kill him. They learned.
Yeah, because he chopped his head off in Endgame. He's like, this time, bitch, fuck you.
But it's too late. Everything's done.
Yeah.
No, but that is true. That moon fight with him and Iron Man, where Iron Man did all that shit. He was like, all that for a drop of blood, and he just fucking trashed him after that. Yeah, man, that movie's fire. And the movie starts off with him beating the shit out of the Hulk.
He cleared Hulk. Hulk didn't show up for the rest of the movie. Loki's about to do Loki shit. He's like, yo, no resurrections this time.
So I remember when I saw the movie in theaters, everybody was quiet when he beat the shit out of the Hulk. They're like, damn, this motherfucker just manhandled him. It was like, what the fuck? You can't beat this guy? Like, so.
That's the first time Hulk got beat up pretty badly in a movie.
Yeah. That's why I didn't really like Endgame that much, because he wouldn't come out. That was corny.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of Infinity War, I mean, like, I didn't like that part. Like, I still wanted him to get his lick back a little bit. And he didn't get his lick back in Endgame either. Like, I don't know. You could have Hulk walk like a little bitch.
Yeah, they kind of did.
But yeah, you can't argue. You can't argue. I think with Infinity War #1. I think it was just like you could say it in Dark Knight. Oh, you didn't like the girl. You know, you didn't like this. There's not really a scene you can point out in Infinity War where it's like, I didn't really like this part. You know what I'm saying? Like, every part was kind of pretty good. You know what I mean? And to even fight with Wakanda and Black Panther was involved, and he went down to the river and brought Bucky's arm. And Bucky's like, yo, where we gotta go? He's like, don't worry, fight's coming here. Like, yeah, everything. Yeah, like the fucking Thor. That was a whole separate thing. Thor with Guardians of the Galaxy, and then he went to make the fucking the hammer, and then it was so much moving pieces.
And they made it work. Yeah.
Made it work. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely fire movies. Fantastic Four, go watch it. It was good.
Yeah, I gotta see that in Super.
Yeah, I gotta see that too. Yeah.
Yeah, good movie. Don't see Happy Gilmore 2.
I wasn't going to. But thank you for making me understand why.
Terrible.
All right, the last pepper take is about the T app. And what is the T app?
Oh,
it's really exploded in popularity. So the T app originally was supposed to be created to help women inform and protect them from pedophiles and abusers. But that is not what it's turned into. It's
Of
turned
course
into
not.
a
Of
popular app
course.
where women spread gossip and info on men, background checks, criminal history, sex offender, negative, and like other stories such as that. So it's really become one of the most popular apps on social media. So, but now on Friday, this came out. So the app confirmed that it was hacked. So thousands of images of all the women users on it, including government IDs of women on the app, have been exposed and hacked.
Woo!
So it's a lot to go on, a lot to unpack there. So you saying, what are your thoughts on this app? And would you be I guess what are your thoughts on the app, and how would you feel about you know whether women in the past that you dealt with or now spreading information about you on this app?
Ah, one, I have always said this: women can be three things. They should be three things in their life, job wise: an archaeologist, a lawyer, and a detective. Because that's all that fucking app did. Because they find old shit that they get nothing to do with anything. They like talking about shit. They like reading between the lines. They like reading mental. Yo, I heard about this. When I heard T app, I was like, this sounds like an app where women are just talking some bullshit. Women love gossiping. Not saying all of you, not generalizing, but this seems more like an app generated for women. Guys, we don't really gossip like that. I don't really want to know what the fuck what you doing. I don't give a fuck. I also feel like if there are women talking about me right now to this day, that's on you. Like I don't care. Like if you are still upset about something I did, I ain't got nothing to tell you. Like listen, life moves on. So don't bother me. If it bothers you, go. You know what? Feel right ahead. It won't. No skin off my back.
So what if like a woman that you're talking to, she's like, oh, I heard on the T app say, you did this to your ex, and then you did this to another ex. What's going on with you? What would you feel about that?
You're probably right. And I will walk off. I'm just saying, like, yo, you can't like. There's too much stuff to be worried about. To be worried about what's going on, what you're discovering, because a lot of it's exaggerated. You don't know what it is. It could be like, and I always say, when you hear one side of the story, never just go with that side. There's other sides to that story. But guess what? I don't even remember, and I'm not gonna talk about it anyway. So that's on you. You put in the missing clues. I'm not doing that shit.
No, scumbag. What are your thoughts on this T app and
I'm
everything about it?
just,
I guess.
Yo,
I'm just saying. I'm
when are these
saying.
bitches gonna stop being annoying? All right. When are they gonna chill the fuck out? Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Nah. See, here's the problem. Why back in the '70s they didn't get the right to vote. They didn't get the right to do all this shit because when you give them powers, what they do, they
Oh
fucking
God.
Oh, here we go. Scumbag. Here he
when you
is.
when you give women power, they do this bullshit. All right, so I think let's get into Congress, take away some of their rights, and maybe they'll calm the fuck down. Now,
Hey, don't give the current administration ideas here. You know what they've
Please.
been doing. Yeah.
yeah, let's start. Let's bring back the '70s. Bring back the '70s. That's like, nah, I'm just joking around. But nah, I just think that that's what women do. They gossip. You know what I'm saying? And they're saying how they feel, which is all the. I've never met a girl, right? I'll be honest. I've never met a girl, and I rarely bring up the ex because their whole fucking mood changes. Don't even.
Mm-hmm.
What happened with you and your ex? As a man, I'm giving you that right now. Don't ask.
Don't
If they
matter.
bring it up and they talk while she's giving her opinion, oh, all right. Oh, damn. Wow. Oh, hey. Oh, oh. That's it. Do that. Don't have an opinion on it. Don't say shit. All right. But, anyways, when it's brought up, because I don't bring it up, I've never had a girl say, you know what? It just didn't work out. I wasn't ready to get married. And, every time, he was abusive. And he used to hit me. And he used to call me a whore every time we fucked. You had a kid by him. Yeah, because you artificially sedated his cock at me when I was sleeping. Otherwise, I
Oh,
wouldn't do shit with that fucking scumbag.
yep.
That's what I hear every fucking time.
Leave that shit right
So
alone.
they're just doing that on the app. That's it. And hey, like Zaza said, I heard in the T app, bitch, if you're in the T app, I don't want to date you. Okay? If you're in a fucking T app and you're a member and you're signed up, I don't want to date you. Have a nice night, lady. You're right. Oh, I heard your ex said that you kicked the fucking door down at 12 steps and then you went downstairs and fucking put a hammer to his head and wore his skin on your fucking neck for 2 days to show her why you're the boss. Like, okay, I guess I did. Whatever. Like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing I guess what men have a problem with is I don't know what was being said on there. I didn't see it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Hey, maybe there was a guy who was in there and the girl's like, well, he raped me and he put a pill in my drink and da da. Maybe one day he went out with a girl and she was like, wait a minute, are you this guy? And he's probably reading
Mm-hmm.
this shit like, what app is this?
Yeah.
If you're in the moment, maybe that would bother me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know what I'm saying? If I'm out with a girl, I really like her, she's real cool, we're getting along. And the third date, she's like, let me ask you something. You know what this is about? And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
what the fuck is this? I can't talk to you because this is too much. You're like, what? You know what I'm saying? You're ready to fucking lose it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I guess
Doing
in
too
that
much.
sense is like, what the fuck? Why are you doing that shit? But, you know, I think as men, we're not surprised. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, you know, we know that 9 times out of 10, you know, women are gonna just bash you. You know, they bash men 9 times out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I talk to girls now, even just friends, not even like talking, just like, just get pick their brain on how they think of men and what they do. And like there's this girl, right? She fucking likes me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's trying to show me, fucking, you know, messages of some guys on her dick. Oh, look, this guy said, look, this guy said, I guess to make me feel like, oh, she's
Yeah,
wanted,
jealous. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So she's fucking showing me this shit. I'm like, okay, whatever. So she's like, this guy's creepy and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, let me ask you something, right? Let's say go to your house, right? And I don't know, I'm going to see you, the window's open. It's in the morning, you're sleeping. What if, oh, we just lost Zaza.
Yeah, we lost Cesar.
What if I told her, I said, what if we, I climb through the window, right? And while you're sleeping, lay down with you and cuddle with you and da da da. She goes, oh, that'd be cute. I'm like, but you see how women think, bro? You think this guy DMing you mad times is a creep, he's a
Mm-hmm.
fucking creepster, he's a whatever. But I climbed through your window, right?
Mm-hmm.
And fucking, I just got him back now. Yeah, so go back in the story if you didn't hear, Zaza. So
Yep.
this guy's DMing her, whatever. She said, oh, he's being a creep, whatever. So I said, okay, so what if I go to your house one day, the window's open, I climb through while you're sleeping, I cuddle with you. What do you think about that? Oh, I think that'd be cute. And I'm like, yo, you see how women think, right? So if you like me, I'm not creepy. I climb through a window, I could fucking come in there and do all kind of creepy shit. And
Yeah.
it's probably romantic and cute to you because you like me. But you don't like this guy and not attracted to him, want nothing to do with him. Oh my god, look at this creep. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like, so just if you know that how they think, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta know that a lot of this shit is probably cat. You know what I'm saying? There's probably bullshit. They're
Yeah.
talking about the X in a negative way, like you said, there's two sides to every fucking story. You know what I mean? Like, you do your own research. You know what I mean? And it's just unfortunate because this is the problem with, as far as women having believability. You know what I'm saying? Like, women get mad because sometimes they get raped, something weird does
Yeah.
happen to them, they go to court, they do all this shit, and people are like, yeah, but we gotta wait to see. And they get mad. I can't believe no one's believing me. This is crazy. Well, if the fucking last 10 women didn't fucking lie about the shit, there wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah. That's true.
Like, I think sometimes women shoot themselves in the foot with shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, you know, they get a job or they get some sort of power, you know what I mean? And they do some wild shit. They're fucking the boss, they're fucking the owner,
Mm-hmm.
they had a kid by the fucking janitor, the teachers are sucking students' dicks, they do some fucking shit, and you're like, see, this is why we don't give you positions of power.
Yeah.
because you're doing shit like this. You know what I mean? I say that men don't do it. Of course, men do it, but I just think that sometimes, you know, we have to look at shit a certain way because sometimes, some women just ain't screwed on too tight. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So see, if you're on this T app, do your own research. Don't just go off what they're saying. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm not surprised.
Not at all.
And they'll show
Not even.
they'll show the T app down, and then next week it'll be the fucking whatever app, and there'll be some more stories and some more wild shit going on. But hey, guess what happened? A bunch of dudes got mad. They found out they hacked the system,
Yep.
Yeah.
and now they got your personal information
Mm-hmm.
to find out police reports, unpaid child support, if you're on Section 8, if fucking diapers came to your house because you're feeding your kids Lucky Charms for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All this shit's coming out. You went to the club and left your 3 kids at home for 2 hours so you could get fucked in the bathroom. Or if you did all that shit, it's coming out. So they're getting their karma.
And Kofi, sounds like you having a party over there, bro.
Yeah. Like I said, this music festival is going on right now.
Word. Yeah, that's what I gotta say about it.
Yeah, I'll conclude saying, I think the original purpose of the app was good, to, get women to talk and talk about like pedophiles or abusers in the area, make sure no other women get harmed by these people.
Yeah.
But
real quick.
Yeah, in terms of the drama stuff, it's I didn't usually that to IG and Twitter and stuff like that. So
no, that's what I was wanting to touch on. Well, I was basically saying before, like, listen, there's some guys out there that are fucking creeps, bro. Because I've heard some stories. You know what I mean? I've heard some fucking stories that are like, what?
Yep.
And I say this with women, they've seen a total ugly side of men that us men haven't even seen. You know what I mean? Some of the stories you hear are like, what? Like, wow. You know what I mean? It's really crazy. And some dudes just can't control themselves. You know what I mean?
Nope.
They can't. Whether they're DMing you dick pics and
Yep.
you see them in person, and if they're drunk. There's been times that men have killed women just because they wouldn't give them their phone number.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? There's fucking people out there that do some wild shit, and this app should be a good thing because you're warning women of certain men who have these tendencies.
Yeah.
What if a guy tried to rape a girl? She goes in the T app and she goes, "Yo, this guy, da 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 da." Now this guy goes to ask you out. You realize, oh shit, it's this guy. I'm good.
Yep.
I'm gonna be the one that he actually does rape and kill.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you just fucked it up. You fucked it up by doing stupid shit because you want attention, you want to bullshit, you want to lie, you want to bash men. You made something that was supposed to be a good thing into something negative. So, yeah. Not saying that men are fucking innocent, bro. Trust me.
No.
I know.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes men can be some creeps, bro.
There are some creepy men out there. Like, yo, bro, you can take no for an answer. Some dudes don't know how to take no for an answer. Yo, just chill, move on. You be good.
Yep. And that's just scary, bro. Like when I had a friend that was a girl, we were talking, and we were cool and everything, and she had a daughter and shit. She worked in Manhattan, and sometimes she would come home late at 8, 9 o'clock, dark as hell in New York, by herself on the bus, on the train, or whatever. Bro, I Amazon her fucking mace. I said, put that shit in your purse, bro.
Yeah,
please.
Put that shit in your purse. It was mace and a stun gun. She couldn't. I think illegal carry a stun gun or some shit in New York. But carry something on you. If you're a girl, I recommend you carrying something on you. Because you don't know, some dudes will really watch you.
Yeah.
And you're not noticing. You're going to work. You're fucking going. You're dropping your daughter off at school. You're running around. You're not paying attention to your surroundings. And there's a guy just following you everywhere you go.
Yeah, one of my friends, she was going somewhere and she took a Lyft or Uber and she was like, yo, the driver was real like creepy about it because she had like a nice dress on. Yeah. And she was uncomfortable that whole entire ride. So women have it tough. Just something as simple as the Uber driver, sometimes it could be, pretty dangerous.
Oh, he could overpower her.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like it could happen. Like, yo, If you're a girl, man, carry that base on you. You know, I totally agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm joking around in the beginning and shit, but I'm not oblivious to what men do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, same.
When I come from an opinion, I come from an opinion of I know both sides. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mhm.
So yeah, definitely, get it together, some of y'all women, because y'all fucking it up for people who really need to be fucking warned and
Yeah.
let know of these fucking people. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So
And like I didn't mean to cut you off. Like I work with high school teenagers. I tell them all the time, yo, you gotta watch who you talk on the social media. You don't know. Dudes are creeps out here because they'll tell me like, oh yeah, this older man messaged me. And yo, that's terrifying. I'm like, yo, why are you watching this 16, 17-year-old? But like Scumbag McGee said, dudes are creeps out here. And this app should be used to watch out for that shit.
yeah.
All right, that wraps it up. For Scumbag McGee, for St. Zaz, K Apps, thanks for listening
Yo,
and watching this
that is
episode
the
of
longest
PGN.
episode, right? A longest
Huh?
episode
Yeah.
in 2 hours. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No more list, all right? Because the list we get into those rants.
Yeah. That's something as a producer I'll keep in mind. No more lists. But have fun
If
for this
list,
one.
it gotta be like at least 5 minutes for your list. You go on, that's it. You got your
Yeah.
5 minutes. You do a little timer. But also we got some. We trying to get some merch out for you guys. Scumbag McGee's been working on the logo. I have the designer. So we trying to get y'all some merch out to you guys, so you guys can represent PGN Pod wherever you're
Yeah.
at.
All right. Sign us out, Kofi.
All right. Once again, for Scumbag McGee, for St. Zaz, this is K App. See you later, and we'll see you next week on PGN.